A real race car driver drives his car in a sim racing game. How realistic is it? Are you just playing games when you fire up a racing game, or does it actually translate to real life? Hi guys, I'm Otakar and I race Formula Vee. Today I went to Pilotech in Sao Paulo to try their simulator to see how realistic a simulator can get. I just drove a Formula Vee in Interlagos a few days ago, so I'm going to be doing the same on the simulator. We are using Automobilista 1 as the simulator. And if you want the short version, yes, it is very realistic. I just find the simulator even a bit more difficult than it actually is in real life. Keep on watching to see why. In real life, I didn't have a single spin and I was able to achieve pretty consistent lap times even the first time that I went on a track. On the simulator, it's a different story. I keep making mistakes in basically every lap. And that brings me to the biggest difference between a simulator and reality. The amount of information that you as a driver get that helps you to understand what's actually happening with the car. If you have driven on a simulator, try to drive with force feedback turned on and then turn it off. You will all of a sudden feel a bit blind without the force feedback. It's going to be a lot more difficult. Now, in reality, it's like having another layer of force feedback. During some situations on a simulator, you get enough information to drive on the limit with confidence. In other situations, you get little feedback. The biggest difference for me is being able to tell when the car starts to oversteer on corner entry. Driving in real life, you feel it through your body. On the simulator, it's quite difficult to feel it. In reality, you are strapped to the car and you can feel everything that is happening. I enter the corner, braking, and I feel when the rear of the car is starting to slide through my whole body. I can balance how much braking I need to rotate the car and make it turn faster, but not to spin. I can feel that I'm on the edge. On the simulator, it's a lot more difficult to feel when the rear is just about to slide. A lot of times you just see it with your eyes and it's too late to even catch the slide. Reacting based on what your eyes see is a lot slower than reacting on what your whole body feels. The best simulators in the world, like this one in Pilotech, are super realistic. The force feedback is incredible. The feedback through the wheel could even be better than some race cars, which often have like some play in the steering. The pedals, they feel exactly like in a real car. They are hydraulic. You can set the brake pressure to match your own car. And this simulator, with its massive curved screen, compared to having 3 monitors, is also much better, since it doesn't have the bezels interrupting your view, which makes it a lot easier to follow your reference points and use your vision like you do in real life. The racetracks, they are often laser scanned, so if there is any undulation or a bump on the real track that, I don't know, maybe makes the car oversteer in the real life, the same thing will likely be happening on the simulator. The car that I was driving on the simulator was behaving basically the same as the real thing. I was driving in the same way with basically the same inputs and I had very similar lap times to real life. It really is quite incredible. Now you might think, well, there are also those simulators that move around. Yes, there are, and they also have one in Pilotech. I have also tried it, but honestly, I prefer driving without it. Even Max Verstappen doesn't use a simulator that moves. In my opinion, the technology still has some way to go for it to be genuinely useful. It might increase the immersion for someone who never drove a race car in real life, but if you did, I think you might find the movements distracting rather than informative like they are in real life. Simply, no technology exists yet that would translate the G-forces that you feel in a real race car that give you that additional bit of information about what's happening with the car. If you want to become a better driver, sim racing is definitely the way to go. If you are fast on a simulator, you will be fast in real life. Have fun, get fast, follow and subscribe for more videos. I'm going to be making another video over here where I will talk about the differences in cheap simulators versus the expensive ones. It's not going to be what you expect.